Hi, everybody. Randy here. We'll get to our podcast episode in just a moment, but before we do, I'm excited to tell you about a new career training bundle that I've put together for you. You have a couple different options with it, and it's called Real Help for Remote Work. This came from a career training event that I led earlier in the year 2024 to try to give some thoughts, some ideas, some practical steps that you as a job seeker or career changer could use to really move into more of a remote kind of role if that's something you're interested in. Job seekers are wanting more flexibility in their jobs. Employers are starting to offer more hybrid jobs, even work from home jobs. So I knew I wanted to help give you ideas and thoughts to help you take a purposeful step that you can move into more job flexibility or more of a remote kind of role if that's based on your specific career goal. So if you want to get your copy of the Real Help for Remote Work training, you can visit our website, WWPCast.com/real help for remote work. And there's dashes between each word. For this career training, we've got two versions of it. There's an audio version, which includes an audio recording of this training, and you get a workbook to help you kind of apply your learning, help you follow along, and you get a copy of the slide deck, presentation deck as well. And then we also have a video-based version. You can really take steps in a purposeful, intentional way, having a clear career goal in mind that if you want to work remotely or take the step to start working remotely, I think this Real Help for Remote Work career training can help you. So get your copy of our Real Help for Remote Work training today. Visit our website, www.pcast.com/real help for remote work. There's dashes between each word. Again, www.pcast.com/real help for remote work. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Work with Purpose podcast. I'm Randy, glad to be with you today, and I appreciate you joining us this month on our episode. If you are new to our podcast, we're a seasonal career podcast really designed to help you get advice, encouragement, and education to meet you where you are on your career journey, and we're trying to do that in the span of about 20 to 30 minutes. So again, I'm glad that you're joining us on this episode. Thanks for being here. For this month's episode, we're talking more about being diligent in your career or the value of being diligent in your career. This is a topic that I really put together just a quick thought on our Work with Purpose YouTube channel a couple months ago, but I knew I wanted to bring this topic in front of you just because for a lot of things that I've read about career development in the last 6 months to a year or so, a lot of social media posts that I'm seeing, a lot of things that I've seen in the field of career development have kind of felt to me, just from what I've been reading, comments that I've been seeing, is that there's a tendency to be tempted to make a career choice in more of a really quick microwave kind of mentality. So really quick, instant gratification. Hey, I'm gonna quit my job with no plan, and then 5 days later, gonna have a new role coming to my door. And then the really fact of that is, even though that someone might be tempted to think that way, a lot of the facts and information that we're seeing about U.S. career development is that job searching and that entire process, it's not a microwave kind of decision. It's more of a crock pot kind of decision, right? You take all the elements, the meat and the onions and the potatoes, put it in the crock pot with your spices, put it on low for 6 to 8 hours, if not longer than that. So I would tell you that career decisions, it's very much a low and slow kind of career decision. You might take more time. There's a lot of details and layers involved. So that's why I wanted to put this topic in front of you today. So we've got, so again, with this topic, with this topic of being diligent in your career, I want to put this clip in front of you, and then later in this episode, I want to help you apply this and really give you 2 ways that you can think about being diligent in your career that I hope you can use right now where you are sometime this week. So right now, let's get into the clip of being diligent for your career.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This might not be the most polished video I make for you, but I wanted to bring you to this kind of spot at this time. When I'm recording this, it's kind of early in the morning, and that is normally my kind of of time during the day when I'm sort of at my freshest. I wanted to bring you to this time, this quiet time for me, just to let you know something about your life and your work. Is that a lot of times to be successful in your work and in your life, it might mean you making hard choices in quiet times like this when there's not a lot of notoriety. Nobody would know about it except you, but it's valuable because it helps you form the choices and habits that you'll need to be successful in the long run. As a career coach and a podcaster, and as a believer in Jesus Christ, I subscribe to the Bible. That's what this is here. And in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, it talks about that the diligent prosper, and that those who are considered wise store up choice food and oil. They plan, they make a plan, take action on that. With this video, as you think about the work that you want to do, whether it's you want to change your job, revise your resume, think about a new industry you could go into, new companies to work for, things like that, you might find that you've got to do those diligent steps over the long haul. Maybe it's a 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. kind of thing. When you work on those, maybe it's, later at night after your kids go to bed, you work to revamp your resume. I want to encourage you. Those diligent times, those quiet times can be really challenging. Nobody might know about your sacrifices but you. Maybe your family does, but it's not going to be on social media or anything like that. But I want to encourage you. The diligent, they do prosper. It takes time, but I encourage you that you've been made with purpose so you can work with purpose. And part of doing that is being willing to be diligent over the long haul. Diligent over an extended period of time. Appreciate you. I believe you can do it. Again, you've been made with purpose, so work with purpose.
All right, so that was our clip, Being Diligent in Your Career. Hope you found that purposeful and helpful. It came from our Work with Purpose podcast YouTube channel. If you want to see the video version of that clip or any other of our videos or other past episodes from our podcast, if you look in the description below this video, if you're watching the YouTube version of our show, you can see the link for that and any of relevant links for our podcast and stuff there. And also, if you're checking us out on your favorite podcast app, if you look in our show notes, you can see the links there. So now that you've had a chance to kind of think through and listen to, engage with that being diligent for your career clip, I wanted to give you a couple reasons that you can really use that information and get you thinking about it. I wanted to give you a couple ways that you can be diligent in your career, and I have two quick ones for you. Here they are. And so number one, the way that I think that you can really start to embrace this idea of being diligent in your career and do that starting today, starting this week. The first way is to choose to embrace the marathon mindset. So what do I mean by that? I started to share about this earlier in the episode, but the marathon mindset is really the idea that you making a career choice, you trying to be someone purposeful, intentional in your career development journey. It's really choosing to resist those quick fix kind of ideas, or but really trying to embrace the idea that, hey, to be diligent and purposeful in your career, it's a marathon, right? You got to be in it for the long haul. It's not a sprint. And even related to that, as far as this marathon idea, in some research that I did to prepare for this episode, according to more recent employment data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, according to their research from May of 2024 of U.S. job seekers who are job searching, the average length of a job search for someone who was unemployed and trying to work was about 22 weeks. So if I do some quick math there, 22 weeks, that's about the average job search for someone who's unemployed is about over 5 months, if not longer. So that kind of gives some connection to that. Hey, if you are job searching, or if you're going to be in the job search, be ready that it might take a lot longer than you think. Again, that comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Again, if you want to take a copy of that, look at that table, that information, you can look in the show notes. If you're watching us on or engaging with us on our favorite podcast app, if you can get the links in the description below this video if you're watching us on the YouTube version of our show. And so that was the first way to help you think about being diligent in your career this week or even today. Embrace the marathon mindset. But then number two, reason that I think that you can work to be diligent today in your career is to assess your skills and abilities and then make a plan to develop those. So here's what I mean by that. If you're wanting to be diligent in your career, or maybe refocus on some things, really think about what skills and abilities have you developed already. So really pull out, based on your background, your experience, what software tools have you used? What software, what abilities, what processes, procedures, things like that. What software programs, lots of different things. So really kind of take stock of those. That might take you a little bit of time, but that's really important to be thinking about. Think about what abilities, what skills have you developed already. But then, and the reason I guided you there is to really get you started somewhere, because I don't know about you, but for me, as being in the career development field for a number of years now, over 7 years, and even having 12 years of job search experience before that, my kind of joke when I work with clients or individuals on their career decisions is that, and this is more with resumes, but my joke is that, hey, I'm kind of an older person, so I forget all the tools from that internship that I did 10 years ago. I forget, those specific programs or procedures that I did from that job 6 years ago. So I would say to you, if you're wanting to assess your skills and abilities, really start by taking stock of some of those that you've done already. And maybe you do a written list of some of those procedures and processes and skills and abilities that you've developed or that you've used over time. And so after you take stock of that, there's kind of two ways you can go with it. Number one is to, from that list of skills or abilities that you've used or done already, really think about this question for yourself. Think about, can you sharpen or update some of those abilities, update some of those skills that you've done already? That could be a great way to go forward, in that if you're wanting to stay in the same career field or same industry, is that, really trying to be purposeful and continuing to grow in some of the skills that your current position might need or might demand, or that your field might demand. There's a lot of different resources for that. Maybe it's a certification course, maybe it's an online course, maybe it's a new college level class, or maybe you consider looking at a new type of education program. It just really depends on the nature of the field that you're in and what you want to be doing. So after taking stock of your skills and abilities, the first way that you can kind of continue developing those is really think about, can you sharpen your skills somehow? Can you keep developing your abilities somehow? And thinking about what would be some of those ways for that. But then the second path with this idea of assessing your skills and abilities is thinking longer term in the future. Is that if you're in a job or a field right now and you might be wanting to move into another specific job in the future, or maybe even move into a different industry in the future, really think about what skills and abilities do you need to get there, and then making a plan to really develop those. An example might be, let's say if you are in a general nonprofit kind of setting, but you're more in kind of an individual, team member type of role, but you have a longer term goal of wanting to get into more of a department manager or a, team lead type of role, maybe more responsibility, helping with interviewing or hiring or more management type of levels. Skills that somebody might need for a role like that, number one, it might need, depending on your background, you might need more specific education. More like a college or type of degree for that. You might even look at online courses, or even certifications where you can develop some more of those specific leadership skills, management skills, interviewing kinds of skills, right? Recruiting types of skills, depending on what would be asked for your specific organization and what's asked for managers or leaders at your organization. So I hope that was helpful. So real quick, let's review these. Two quick ways that you can today, this week, start to really think about and refocus and work to be diligent for your career. Number one, you want to embrace the marathon mindset, really understand that job searching, career changing, it can take a lot longer than you realize, and just be prepared for that. And the number two way was to assess your skills and abilities and then make a plan to develop those. And I gave you a couple different ways you could do that. The first way was starting with taking stock of what skills and abilities you have already. And then the next stop for that was, could you sharpen the skills and abilities you have if you're wanting to stay in your current field, current industry? And then the second pathway from that was, if you've got your longer term career goal in mind, maybe you want to change jobs, maybe you want to change industries, what skills do you need to get there? And then making a plan to really develop those. All right, so after this quick break, we will wrap up our show. Stick around. You're listening to the Work with Purpose podcast, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, Randy here. We will get back to our podcast episode in just a moment. But first, I wanted to tell you about something new that we're trying this year here at the Work with Purpose podcast. We're doing a few live stream events. Yep, you heard me right. We're calling our live stream events WCT, which means Weekend Career Training. Now, these weekend career training events, they're designed to be a 1-hour live stream event on specific Saturdays in 2024. During this time, I'll share a bit more teaching and training about a specific career topic, and then it can also give you a chance to have your career questions answered as well. So I want to invite you, bring a cup of coffee, join us on our next weekend career training live stream, and continue taking a purposeful step in your career. Our next weekend career training event, it's coming up on Saturday, August 10th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can find more details about how to join, how to reserve your spot at our website, WWPcast.com/live. Again, that's WWPcast.com/LIVE. When you go there, it'll give you, again, more information about how you can fill out our live question form so you can submit a question. You can also reserve your spot to join our weekend career training live stream. I'm excited to have you join me there. Again, our next weekend career live stream event is coming up on August 10th, 2024. You can get more details about it at www.pcast.com/live. All right, welcome back to the Work with Purpose podcast. As we wrap up this month's episode, I want to say, number one, thank you so much for watching or engaging with this episode, either on your favorite podcast app or connecting with us on the YouTube version of our show. As we finish up this month's episode, I want to say I hope you found it purposeful and encouraging and helpful. And if you did, I want to encourage you with a couple actions you can take. Number one, consider continuing to be a purposeful person and share this episode with a friend who might need it. I realize in the work that we're doing here with our podcast that so many adults are looking to change jobs or looking to looking for work. So I encourage you, if you find this encouraging and helpful, share this with someone else. Give them encouragement that they need in the midst of a job search. And so much on our podcast that we talk about it, that to be a purposeful person, it means not only engaging with our educational career content, but also as you take action or act on what we talk about and act on what what you learn from us here, that's you being a purposeful person. So consider sharing this episode with a friend who might need it. Number two, again, if you find this episode encouraging, helpful, practical, I want to invite you, if you are watching us on the YouTube version of our show, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel there, leaving us a like. If you're watching us on our your favorite podcast app, consider leaving us a positive review. We ask for those type of involvements, just because as you leave a positive review, as you subscribe, as you connect with us on our YouTube channel, that puts our show in front of new folks so they can learn about us and consider connecting with us as well. So we encourage you to do that. Thanks so in advance for doing that. And then number three, I want to encourage you to consider supporting our work. If you find our career content helpful, if you visit our website, you can find ways that you can do that. Also, if you're watching us on the YouTube version of our show, if you look in the description below this video, we've got links on how you can support our work and connect with that. And that's also in the show notes if you're connecting with us on your favorite podcast app. So thanks so much in advance for considering to leave a like, subscribe, a positive review, or consider supporting our work. We appreciate that. Our goal with the podcast here is for things on our podcast to be intentionally free, but it is not free for us to bring this podcast to you and some of our other resources as well. That does cost us some things, so we appreciate any kind of support you're willing to extend as you've got the financial bandwidth to do that. So thanks in advance for that. All right. So as we finish up this month's episode, I want to say thank you again for watching and connecting with us wherever you are, whether you're on our YouTube channel or on your favorite podcast app. And as we end this episode here, I'm Randy Mahoney, and this is the Work with Purpose podcast. And as we finish up today, I want to remind you, like I always do, of two quick things. Number one, you've been made with purpose, so work with purpose. And then number two is this: the best work that you can do is to serve someone else with your unique gifts and skills and abilities, and to do all that for the glory of Jesus Christ. We'll see you next time.